Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone, and today, 5 brand new decks. We're going to start out with 2 amazing decks that I've been having a lot of success with, and then we're going to look at 3 Fenris Wolf decks because I think we have to do some work in figuring out exactly how good Fenris Wolf is. We're just finally getting to the best decks with the card. We're going to begin, though, with this deck from Space that everyone told me wouldn't work, and then I tried it, and oh crap, this 100% works. This deck is incredibly strong and incredibly consistent. It does far, far more than it looks like. This is like using Malekith in the way Space calls as a reverse America Chavez, for those of you who remember when America was a 6/9, where you get to keep the good stuff in the deck, and then you get basically to choose between Sage, Juggernaut, Luke toward the end of the game with Malekith, which ends up being a back-breakingly strong play, especially with Wiccan, because you have enough energy to go double 4 at the end of the game and just absolutely take out opponents. If you go like Malekith and Lad, for example, you're just putting out an absolute insane amount of power, and your opponent cannot prepare as you absolutely drop a ton there, especially if you have Iron Man or Claw, which are also great surprise plays. You can also go Iron Man or Claw with Juggernaut at the end of the game, thanks to Wiccan, which is just insane, right? Like, there's a million ways to put up 3 tons of power with this deck. I cannot urge you to give it a try enough. All right, Space is also known as Silky Johnson. You've probably seen him in various Snap streams if you watch any Snap on Twitch. This deck needs Wiccan, Sage, and Malekith. Anti-Venom and Lad are both great cards, but Jubilee and Shang-Chi are capable of replacing them. You will miss Anti-Venom more than you miss Lad, in my opinion. Speed can be Polaris for this list. Speed is just whatever the best statted 3 you have. Gladiator makes some sense in this spot as well. All right, this deck feels, again, really good. So turn 1 is Quicksilver, turn 2 is Domino, and you feel terrible at the end of those 2 turns. But then you drop Speed or Luke over Juggernaut, ideally, and at that point, you're starting to do well. And then at that point, if you can drop a Wiccan, you're in heaven. You're like snapping on that Wiccan almost always. After that, we've got Anti-Venom over Malekith as our plays. Getting Anti-Venom out, giving you that extra optionality of what to play is extremely important. Turn 5 is 4+3 or Iron Man or Claw. I tend to like dropping an Iron Man here relatively well, although you should know enough to read decks and figure out if your opponent's likely running Red Guardian. If they're running Red Guardian, go Claw over Iron Man. Turn 6 is often a 4+4, which is Malekith and Lad when you do it. If not, Iron Man or Claw make a lot of sense. Also, if you don't have Wiccan in hand, you don't have Anti-Venom in hand, feel free to drop a Lad on turn 4 and see if you get lucky and get that extra Wiccan, get that early Anti-Venom, whatever else you want. Awesome list. This is very strong, very interesting, and totally new, a deck you'll only see here on this channel. After this, we're going to take a completely sick tempo deck that cracked top 10. I believe it peaked at number 7 on the Infinite Leaderboard, but one last look at this first. Again, Quicksilver and Domino. This is, in my opinion, the best deck that runs both of them ever in Marvel Snap. Give it a try. If not, like, A, it's super strong, but B, the novelty of the damn thing. Before we go further, if you love novelty in Marvel Snap, if you want new decks, we bring you at least 3 new decks every single day. We're bringing you 5 today. We'll have 3 or 4 more tomorrow. We cover the meta in full. We do bundle guides. We do new card reviews. We do top player thoughts. We do tournament coverage. We had a Deadpool's Diner guide yesterday. Everything you need for your Marvel Snap journey, one-stop shopping right here on the channel. Hit that sub, hit that like, hit that comment. If you don't believe me, pick your favorite creator, ask about it. This is the most consistent and thorough Marvel Snap channel. Hit that sub as we try to hit 16,000 subs by the end of 2024. I hope I've earned your subscription. And we're kicking off our giveaway for Galacta. Our Galacta giveaway is real simple. All you have to do, every video, we do 7 days a week of videos, but Monday through Friday of this week, you're subbed, you like, I ask you to leave a comment. Someone in the comments to this video will win Galacta, as long as you answer the question that comes later this video. Once you answer that question, you are entered to win Galacta, Galacta 4/6, that we're not 1,000% sure how she works, but she gives +3 to the first card you play after her in a lane, we think. This is the Marvel Rivals crossover season. You don't want to miss out. Again, free Galacta right here a week before she comes out. So as soon as it comes out Tuesday, I will buy you that season pass card if you follow the steps and, win. All right. This is Stefan's top 10. I don't know where I wrote Stefab. Apparently, I just don't know how to type today. You'll see that again happening later this video. But Stefan climbed to top 10 with this. This is sort of a tech Malekith list, tech anti-venom list, right? Um, a part of the problem with playing like cards like Shang-Chi, right? Playing cards like US Agent is that or Red Guardian at the end of the game is you want to be adding power to the board. And they don't really have a lot of power. Well, Anti-Venom takes care of that. You get one of those cards for free, right? You get that for free. You get all the power of Zemo and Gladiator at the end of the game, and you end up being able to kick all sorts of ass. I played this on stream yesterday over on Twitch if you want to check the VOD, and I had a really good time with this list. This was a very successful list. It felt like I was close to losing every game, but I pulled everything off because that's how tech card control works. This list is awesome. You might notice I'm completely in love with Anti-Venom Malekith decks right now. They are working wonders for me. And if you want to know who told you to get those two cards, it was this guy after a week of review. So Stefan is Slissinger. He's one of the top players in Marvel Snap. When he hits a deck that he likes, he's absolutely stellar. He is the super giant expert, so like control lists are Stefan's specialty. This needs US Agent, Anti-Venom, Malekith, and Sage. Hydra Bob can be Killmonger or Iceman. You'll note Hydra Bob is the only one drop here. So if you are not going to replace Hydra Bob with Iceman, you can just drop Killmonger in. Red Guardian can be Rogue. You do want something to answer those sort of like pesky Iron Man decks that are floating around the meta, and Red Guardian does that job. Gladiator and Zemo can be Speed, Copycat, Gambit, Juggernaut, Spider-Man. You just sort of want the most power you can get um, at that spot. I do like Zemo a lot in this list in a way I don't think I have in a really long time. And the reason I really like Zemo is at the end of the game, being able to say I've got 5 power here, and your card, when that card is like often like a Luke Cage or something at the end of the game, is absolutely stellar and game winning. Like you're getting a lot of Shadow Kings, you're getting a lot of Luke Cages, you're getting a lot of Hydra Bobs. And if you're playing this, just getting a Hydra Bob and getting a 3/10 out of it, that's awesome. All right, so again, this flew all the way up to rank 7. Turn 1, Hydra Bob. Turn 2, Invisible Woman over Agent or Bob. You will drop US Agent here. Turn 3 is Luke over Gladiator. Because I like to save Gladiator's power for later in the game where possible. I like to try and throw a priority early. Luke is a little better at that. Turn 4 is Anti-Venom or Malekith. Generally speaking, I prefer Anti-Venom, but there is something to say for Malekith depending on what you see still in your deck. Turn 5 is generally speaking a 3+2, and what we're talking about here is something along the lines of getting out that Invisible Woman with the Red Guardian, getting out that Zemo or Gladiator now, and then you should be set. And then you can go 4+2, and an example of that would be Malekith and US Agent here, or Malekith and Shadow King, and then or Shang and the same, or 3+3, which would be like a Red Guardian and Sage or a Luke and Sage play. You get the idea. Anything along those lines. Placement is hard. Placement will take some practice. Once you get the hang of it, though, there is a ton of power to this list. Welcome back, Control to Marvel Snap. This will not be our only control deck this video. One last look at this, and now we are on to talking about Fenris Wolf. This is your last chance review for Fenris Wolf. I don't think Fenris Wolf is a tier 1 card. I don't think Fenris Wolf is a required card, but Fenris Wolf is a good card, maybe even a very good card. I think he has fallen short of expectations. However, the big caveat for Fenris Wolf is very specifically that we are just getting to the best decks for Fenris Wolf. I think that Derek list we covered last week, and then we're going to cover 2 more lists in this video, 3 more lists in this video, excuse me, that I think are the best Fenris Wolf decks we've seen since that very first day. And because of that, I can't swear to you we're not going to suddenly find something broken. The next deck is the cover deck. It's a 70% win rate in almost 200 games. That's nearly unheard of. That is through the roof win rate in that number. And if Fenris Wolf can keep that up, he's absolutely worth owning. I don't think he can keep that up. I honest to God do not believe that he will keep that up. And as such, I believe he's a skip. But the caveat is we're just in discovery mode. It took a long time for us to start to get to the right spot. It took weekend missions for us to start to get to the right spot for this card. Given the power of what's coming next month, I still think this is a skip, though, even though it is far closer than I expected it to be. I think that this is a little better than Frigga. Frigga is an excellent card. I know people have been telling you it's not. I think they're wrong. I think this is straight up worse than Malekith. And yeah, and we'll see what Gore review will be tomorrow. All right, so this is Goon Knight. I told you I can't type. I wrote Good Night. I actually kind of like Good Night as a name for this, but this is Goon Knight. This is a KM deck. I have no idea if Cam made it himself or if he got it from elsewhere, but I'm going to credit Cam for this one. This list is quite strong. It is the one that has the 70% win rate in 190 games, which is again freaking through the roof, unheard of stats. This list adds an absolute ton of power to the board in an absolute ridiculous amount of ways. Um, but it's got a very, very weak early game. So like you can sort of get blown out by things that outtempo you. However, a well-placed Gambit, a well-placed Juggernaut, um, being able to get Darkhawk big enough, which is rough here, can all help you win games of Snap. Also, the top of the infinite leaderboard has a fair amount of arishem in it and a fair amount of Thanos in it, and this deck thinks arishem and Thanos are food. It straight up eats those. So if you're seeing those, that's part of the reason this has such a great win rate. Cambest has a video on this at youtube.com/@Cambest in a snap. If you'd like to go hear him talk about this deck, please go check it out. This deck needs Fenris, Darkhawk, and Cassandra. Proxima can be Swarm. You lose a bit, but not too much. I think oh my god, I lost his name. The guy who keeps changing games. He played yeah, I don't know his name. I totally lost his name. But he ran a Swarm in a version of this previously that worked really well. Hydra Bob is really hard to replace. I think Hydra Bob might be the single most irreplaceable card in the game right now because I mean there's just not other good one drops, right? Like Sable is good but significantly worse outside of bounce. And also Series 5. Nico's good but also Series 5, right? Um, what else are you supposed to run? Iceman is good, but Iceman's already here. Oh, Iceman's not here. I guess Hydra could also be Iceman. You can also run Echo or Ant-Man. I think Echo's actually reasonably good here. Echo's a very good card. All right, so 70% win rate in 190 games. Again, we haven't seen that high win rate in that many games in quite a while. Turn 1, you want Korg over Bob. Turn 2, you want Wolf over 1-drop. Wolf over kind of anything. Turn 3, you can play Cassandra, Moon Knight, or Widow. It's going to depend what's happening. If your opponent is faltering and not playing a lot of cards, Widow can be really strong. If Cassandra Nova, if you played a core, Cassandra Nova is big and you want to get her out as soon as possible. Moon Knight is obviously great if you've got the immediate whatchamacallit in hand. You've got the immediate Proxima in hand, but Moon Knight is the least likely to be played on turn 3 for me because Moon Knight and Wolf are such a good play on turn 5 together if you can pull that off. Turn 4 is the same concept as 3, although Widow after turn 3 gets exponentially worse, so maybe Widow should be 1, but so does Cass. So, maybe it's supposed to be, I would guess it's supposed to be Widow, then Korg and Cass, something along those lines. All right, turn 5 is Darkhawk or Black Bolt. Moon Knight and Wolf are generally my plan here, and then you can go Gambit and Juggernaut, or Darkhawk, Black Bolt, or Darkhawk or Black Bolt and Stature. You just have a ton of ways to put a ton of power on the board. You're just disruptive and annoying enough to beat a lot of decks. Gambit is just this huge, crazy high roll, and then like you get their best card along with your stuff. Darkhawk doesn't get huge here without extra help, but he shouldn't need to be. This is a very mid-range deck that finds ways to win by just sort of outpowering just by putting a lot in each lane. And then being just disruptive enough by taking a power off with Cassandra, by stealing one of their cards with Wolf, by killing a Gambit, Juggernaut, Widow's Kiss, etc., etc., etc. You get the idea. All right, our season pass question. If you would like to win the brand new season pass card, is very simple. Will this season be better than the last? Do you expect the December season with Galacta, Penny Parker, and so on to be better or worse than the previous season of Marvel Snap with Malekith and Surtur and so on? What is your expectation and why? All right, our last winner of Surtur is someone named Jason Williams. Jason Williams, please reach out via Discord, email, or Twitter in order to claim the Surtur Season Pass. Next up, we have Eva Wolf. This is an Evazord deck that is my second or third most successful Wolf deck. The Cam deck was not as good for me. It's this one and the whatchamacallit and the Derek one, which is the weird move hybrid from like early last week that have been best for me. The Cam one, however, has the overall stats on this by a lot. Ava, however, has a stupid win rate with this. If you can figure out how to play this, you're through the roof powerful. Frigga is insane with Sage, like genuinely insane. If you end up going Sage on 4 with Frigga on 5, right? Um, just enjoy. If you can get an extra Hydra Bob, just enjoy, right? There's worse things than an extra Fenris Wolf. If you can go Moon Knight and Black Bolt, I really, really wish this was running Gambit, but outside of that, this list is super, super good. All right, so you can find Ava at twitch.tv/Avazord. This deck needs Fenris and Sage. Lady Deathstrike can be Shang-Chi, which I hope makes sense to everyone. Hydra Bob can be Silver Sable, Nico, Kate Bishop, Nebula, or Echo. I think Kate has a lot to speak for her here. Frigga or Copycat can be Kate Bishop, Polaris, or Juggernaut. Red Guardian can, as always, be Rogue, and Proxima can be Swarm. Cool. You'll see a lot of these decks running Moon Knight and Proxima, obviously. All right, so this is an answer everything deck. Again, this has like a 60% win rate. It's really, really strong. Turn one, Iceman over Bob. Turn two, Wolf. Turn three, Copycat. You can Frigga Bob, or you can Moon Knight of Proxima. If you randomly Sage on three or four, you can Frigga that. Or Moon Knight, Copycat or a Guardian. You just play a three basically. Turn five is Bolt or Wolf, and Moon Knight or Lady Deathstrike. You can also go you can copycat the Sage and still play your Wolf here, and then you can Moon Knight and still trigger that Wolf last turn if you want to. Turn six is usually Lady Deathstrike and Stature, or Sage with another three, and ideally it's your second Sage. All right, we're going to take a look at a Fenris Wolf Sera Miracle. It's what everyone expected to work with Wolf. It took a while, but Lufku figured it out. So this is Eva's Wolf deck. Enjoy. If you'd like to see gameplay from all these decks, check out the stream team. Today is Monday. Gregor2424 already has these decks lined up and ready to go, and he'll have a YouTube video up later in the week about them. Obihaved should have a video up for yesterday's decks soon as well. All right, Lofu9's Miracle. It took a while to get Sera Miracle quite right with this, but Lufku got us there. This ended up being really, really strong, and I think that this is one that is worth testing out. The exact combination of getting like US Agent with Gladiator is really important here, and but you can't run Moon Knight. I do wish this deck could fit Gambit in it, but so be it. It really can't. So, I mean, I guess you can replace Hydra with Gambit without losing too much. All right, so you can find Luke twitch.tv/Lufku9 with an underscore at the end. Please do check him out. He's one of my mods over on my Twitch, and he's a wonderful person. So you need Fenris, US Agent, Gladiator, and Malekith. Hydra Bob can be Killmonger or Gambit. Ms. Marvel can be Omega Red, and Cassandra Nova can be Juggernaut or, you guessed, Gambit. All right, so Mod Love, turn one, Hydra Bob. Turn two, Wolf over US Agent. Turn three, Cassandra over Gladiator over Luke. Turn four is Malekith, if no Sera. Ms. Marvel, if so. Turn five is Sera. If you don't see Sera, this deck can have a hard time. You're going to want to make sure you can Shang or you need to make sure you get Wolf out if you're not Seraing. Like, you need the Wolf thing to happen if you're not Seraing. Wolf is also a better play on turn three than, generally speaking, the other threes, assuming you have any of the stuff that makes it good. Turn six is sort of a combo off. It's a fly flew by, excuse me. A little fruit fly. We had some bananas in the corner. All right, so combo off, you've got Malekith and Shang. Slash Shadow King, Agent Luke. You just sort of go wild and play everything, keeping Ms. Marvel in mind. Remember that you could use Gladiator to turn off Ms. Marvel for +3 power that they won't often expect, which is really, really cool in a lot of matchups for this list. And this is the Sera Miracle list that was promised for this. I do think you need Malekith like pretty damn badly for this. The consistency it adds, the way it gets an extra piece out for you, is hugely, hugely, hugely important in this list in particular. Questions of the day. Buff Captain America asked the data mine I'm most hyped for. And I think Penny Parker might be the best card in Marvel Snap when she releases for multiple reasons. First, we're getting pretty close to a merge deck. We saw one last week from our friend Obihaved that we covered, I want to say, in Friday's video that I had a blast with. Penny Parker is amazing in that. That deck has a ton of merges. Well, if you merge cards with Penny, she's giving you extra energy every time. A 2/3 that can give you ramp and extra energy is through the roof powerful. That lets me do past She-Hulk shenanigans, which is insane. Further, the 3/3 move is really great for Kitty Pryde, but it's also really great for Deadpool. It's also really great for, especially, Human Torch, who immediately becomes a 1/5 with a self move at that point. A 1/5 self move Human Torch is just game winning, back breaking, auto winning. You can put that on, like, obviously Dagger or Vulture as well. Hell, you can put it on Multiple Man, and maybe we're finally at the Multiple Man deck, because Multiple Man also wants a bunch of merges. And now we have a Multiple Man non-Phoenix Force deck to look at. Awesome. But that's not all. We have now a 2/2 that generates a 3/3. You know what that is? That's Wiccan in a bottle. We've seen how good Kate Bishop is for Wiccan decks. We now have another 2-drop, so we can just run Quicksilver, right? And then we can say Kate Bishop and Penny Parker, and then another two, and we've got such a great chance at being able to like hit that Wiccan curve without any extra nonsense. Insanely good. All right. Flanman asks what comic run I recently started. So, I was at the comic shop today picking up some stuff for my son and my wife, and I decided to have a little pull list. It's just 5 Marvel books. It's nothing fancy, but I'm doing X-Men and Uncanny. I like Gail Simone. Uh, I'm curious about the X-Men run. I might drop it. We'll see. I didn't like the first issue that I read. I'm doing Avengers because I've really enjoyed this run of Avengers. I've read most of it on Unlimited, and then NYX because I love basically every idea about NYX, and the current Fantastic Four run because I'm a big Ryan North fan. I think Ryan North is excellent. So I've read the two X-Men books and the last 2 issues of Avengers. I've really liked this run of Avengers. I think Blunt Hunt was stupid, but I think most crossovers are, and I've liked everything else. The current Fantastic Four run is incredible, but that's not a recent read. NYX is my current pleasure of a book. If you have any suggestions for current Marvel runs, I mean, I don't really want to get into current DC. New 52 really crushed my interest in DC, and I'm aware they've sort of gone back, but I don't really care. They betrayed my trust to a point where I don't want to go back. But either Image/indie stuff or Marvel stuff, feel free to recommend that in the comments. I would happily add like 3 to 5 books to the pull list. Patreon.com/snapjudgment. Certain tiers on our Patreon come with on-air thanks. If you'd like to be on-air thanked, please check out patreon.com/snapjudgments. Thank you to the great Abigail Geeslin, Mandatory Burnout, Irregardless, David G. Wingfield, Dirty Casual, Danton, LAB, FaThorNewman. Check him out on YouTube and Twitch. Good Dog Gamer, Inc. I am Frostman, J. Neville, Thinking Poker. Hey, Thinking Poker. I gotta memorize your website to promote at some point. Ryan Burke of Burke Avenue fame. Ryan Woody, Caretix Lee, Koi Ray, who hung out with me on stream. Thank you, Koi Ray. Black Dahlia, hello, Black Dahlia. Pyrofros, and the Goat Seeker Alliance Leader Clans. Hollowed. Quit Pro Joe, who's an awesome human being and has a message me a bit. Snap Decisions Joe. Check out Snap Decisions, a wonderful daily Marvel Snap podcast. Nick, Mr. Kerfuffle. Ginger Prime. Hey, Ginge. Hope you're doing well. I haven't heard from you in a bit. Ratko, Philip Rakovich. Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone. Kenny messaged me while I was at dinner and we didn't really chat much, but Kenny, shoot me a message. We'll catch up. Rob Silverman, Middle Row Pride. The Bizza. Black Jeebus 23. Extra G, Skippy G, and Jessica Gamble. Skippy, I DM'd you. Tommy Nykus, winner of Snapchat League Season 1, The King Bros, bruh, The Great Kazoo, Kev Ciota, Lunar Chris, Corwin, John Q, Jimmy McQ, Q-Town, Clam, Colonel, Forbin, 8th Sage, Mod Supreme, Models, The Great Goblin. By the way, mods. If you see this, if you hear this, because I'm gonna try and remember to DM you this, I'm pretty sure I'm streaming Thursday and Friday of next week, at night. So let me know if you can make those. Maybe even Friday during the day. Let me know what your schedule is looking like. Green Goblin, Habo Gabo, Unibot, Flan 56, Steven, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B. The Fuzzy Donut, Spectrum X, Hoot, Matt H, DJ Mike Agix, No Frickin' Flex, Ocularis, Mr. Craig Sterry, BG, Zodrex, the King of Canada. Check him out on Twitch, please. Dead Man Falcon, YouTube, Spike Jones, YouTube. Oh shit, I gotta message him. Jonesy, sorry, bud. Two Ties, the Great Lauren Des, the Pirate King Tuccrr, and of course, Gunny T, where the T stands for Gunny was on the podcast with both Sizer, the #1 player, and Dan, the head writer of Marvel Snap Zone, where we ranked the top 10 decks of Marvel Snap. We also have another great video from you yesterday with some great diner decks. Please check both of these out. They're on your screen, and the sub is right below. All you gotta do is click that button. Thanks so much. Hope you win a season pass. Peace.